Yeah, boy. It's time for the collection cassette video. I have quite a lot of cassettes, and I'm mainly doing this because I need to actually go through and see what I have. I can split up my entire cassette collection into a couple categories, so that would be things that I've bought specifically, intentionally, things that I've bought by complete accident, or just because I saw it at Goodwill, for no reason. Stuff that was hand-me-down from my dad, most of which came from his basement, which was flooded, so a lot of it is disgusting, and I'll show you that stuff later. And finally, there's stuff that I just have no idea what's on it. So let's get to it. So first things first, might as well get out of the way stuff that I know is blank. I have these 5 Sony blank cassette tapes. They're just normal type 1. I'll probably record some stuff onto here. We'll just get these out of the way now too. This. These are all not labeled. I'm assuming there's stuff on them. I have no clue. They could be blank, they could have music, or they could have stuff like this. So this says SpongeBob something on it. You probably can't see it because the Lumix will not focus on anything, but it says SpongeBob. I don't know. And I also have this, Trouble for Thomas, but I know what's on here. And basically, I used to make audio YouTube poops, kind of. Basically, I just talk over this and make it funny, and that's probably what's on a lot of these, is just random nonsense. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go through and check these, and the ones that are blank, or the ones that suck I can use, this is, there's a couple of these that are nice Type 2 tapes. I'll have to go through and check those out. The Thomas one, I also have a couple other train-related cassettes I'll show you right now. So we got The Great Train Store Presents Choo Choo Tunes and Other Children's Favorites. I've got John Denver, All Aboard, Songs About Trains. But yeah, so that's a lot of stuff right there. This is Pop Rock 99 Volume 2. Just a complete, random cassette. Who knows what's on here, but it's a nice Type 2 tape. So this will probably get recorded over at some point. I also have a lot of tapes that are like this. This says Prince 78 to 88. But on the back it says B.B. King, and you can clearly see from the cassette itself, other stuff has been on here at some point in time. I don't actually know what's on here, I haven't checked. Who knows? No clue what's on that for real. I have stuff like this. It says Depeche Mode, but the cassette itself is The Time, Ice Cream Castle. So I don't know if it's actually that cassette or if this was recorded over and it is Depeche Mode. Haven't checked it yet. Probably should have. Just haven't checked it. So that's going to go in the I need to analyze, the analysis pile. That's going to go over there. There's a couple other ones that are like that. We got this Smiths one. Nothing else written on the cassette itself. It's just totally blank. This is a really nice cassette. These old Memrexes. Possibly the Smiths on here. Realistically, a lot of these are going to have to go in the analysis pile because I really am not 100% sure since I've never actually put them in my cassette player, just, because I haven't gotten the chance to. Random mixtape kind of thing. This has Freebird on it, so Sweet Home Alabama. A couple of good ones. I think this one probably has it, but it's got to go in the analysis folder. And look at that beautiful tape. It's Type 1, but look how dark it is. Geez. Oh, here we go. Here's one. Beastie Boys, Ill Communication. I did listen to this one, and I'm pretty sure that's what's actually on here, but I could be completely wrong. I might just be mistaking it. 80s Pop Explosion. One of these random, who knows who made this, but it's got Take On Me, so that's a good song. It's got Wild Wild West, Died in Your Arms Tonight. That's cool and all, but the really interesting thing is that it's a Type 2 cassette. Lumix, focus, 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 focus. Whatever. Probably gonna get put in the use for recording my own stuff pile. Here's a real album. Billy Idol, Whiplash Smile. There's a couple good songs on here, but there's not Rebel Yell on here, so it's shit! Goofy one that just someone made, Enya. Enya, Best of Enya. I like Enya. I'm a big Enya head. Speaking of cute girls like Enya, here, I actually bought this one myself, this Linda Ronstadt album. I just got it at Goodwill because I thought she looked cute. I had no idea what this was. Linda Ronstadt. It's very similar to Patsy Cline. of which I have two cassettes. I'm very familiar with these songs. I like them. They're pretty cool. They're just like older style songs. But Linda Ronstadt, cutie alert. Now this one I haven't listened to. Vinnie Moore, very well labeled. I'm assuming this is the Vinnie Moore I'm thinking of, who has some pretty damn cool songs. And if that's the case, this is cool. And this is a really nice cassette. XL2 100. Whoa. Analysis pile. Here's an interesting one. STP, Rock While You Roll. No, this is not Stone Temple Pilots. This is STP, the oil company. Here, you can read the track listing. And I assume that this was probably like given away with like a car, maybe? This may have like came with a radio sold somewhere. I really don't know. It's in its wrap, so it's in mint condition. If anybody wants this, you can buy it off me for $10. I'll sell it for 10 schmackers. It's in mint condition if you're an STP album collector. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Another really nice Type 2 cassette. It says Judas Priest Jugulator on that. Hopefully that's actually what's on there, but the back does not agree with that. You probably can't read any of that. I actually don't know what that says, so it hopefully is Judas Priest analysis pile. That's where that one's going. Here's an interesting one. I bought this one at Goodwill thinking that it was Brahms Piano Concerto No. 1. It isn't actually that. The cassette, I think, is just the wrong cassette. It's actually Brahms Symphony No. 2 in D minor, which is really weird and hard to come by the NBC Symphony Orchestra. It's okay. It's not really the greatest thing ever. Not a huge fan. I have this really insanely cool blue Scotch cassette tape. Look at that. Look at that cool blue. Allegedly, it has a bunch of Janet Jackson songs on there. But look at that really nice blue cassette. Gonna go ahead and put that one in the analysis pile. We got this one. It says U2 on there. Very poorly written. But I think that is actually what is on here, because it just says U2 on everything else. So there's a U2 album. I'm not quite sure. I don't recognize those songs. This is a live. So I don't recognize any of these U2 songs. I don't really know U2 that much. So I guess it'll go with the other analysis ones. Phantom of the Opera, cassette No. 1 and 2. Haven't listened to it. I don't know if it's good, but they're really nice. Do you see that? You see what it says there? It says chromium dioxide on there. So these are nice tapes. These are good tapes. So maybe if they're shitty, maybe these will be getting recorded over at some point. But for now, they're being put in the analysis pile. Here we go. We got a real one. Quad City DJs. But the thing with this is that it doesn't have Space Jam. So what's up with that? Where's Space Jam at? I don't know. It's shit. It might be good, I don't know. Here's some more kind of crappy ones that I'll just get out of the way. We got Collective Soul, December, and it also has Where the River Flows on the other side. You know, it's like your typical crap music. 21 by Chicago, also not into it. Don't care. I've got Great Classical Overtures 1 and 2. Haven't listened to them. They might be good. The back says they have some decent stuff, I guess, but I'm gonna have to actually listen to them. Might have some good stuff on it though. Analysis pile. We got Rainbow, Difficult to Cure. Album art for this is like super sick. I really thought it was gonna be like a super heavy album like Anthrax, which I also just so happen to have Anthrax, The Sound of White Noise right here. So that's a real album. Rainbow, Difficult to Cure. This one is kind of more like rock music. And I did have the cassette case for this, but it was really, really nasty. And I think I'll put in the clips now of me cleaning this as well as a few other cassettes, and I'll show you like the more nasty ones. So this cassette tape is like about to break in half. There's a huge crack in it, and it's like nearly broken. And I have absolutely no clue what is on this tape at all. So if you know what this is, leave a comment down below. However, the other side of the tape, I do know what it is. I think this is the remix of Reminisce by Mary J. Blige and CL Smooth. Here's another tape that I have no clue what's on it. And this one's pretty funny. It's got like, you know, It's been taped over in more ways than one, as you can clearly see. And then on the other side, we have U2, New Year's Day. This song is pretty good. GBH, Midnight Madness and Beyond. This album is so freaking good. I love this album. But sadly, you can see the sponge on this cassette is totally, like, busted. Same goes for this one right here, this Doors album. The cassette itself is in reasonable shape, but the sponge is missing. Here's Robert Palmer, Riptide. I've got Who's Next. The cassette on this one, pretty, like, nasty, but the tape looks relatively fine. It's probably salvageable somewhat. Here's one, if you can read it. Voodoo Lounge. I'm assuming this is the Rolling Stones album. Maybe. Here I've got Hooligans. And this one is super nasty, like, not even recoverable. It's, like, stuck in there. It's so gross. Here's Aerosmith, Permanent Vacation. Another cassette that's, like, just absolutely disgusting. Wings, Back to the Egg, but it's got like black mold all over it. It's really gross. And check out the inside of the shell. It's so oh god, oh no. I've got the Moody Blues, In Search of the Lost Chord. This one looks okay, but if you look inside real close, it's like kind of nasty. Hank Williams Jr., Greatest Hits. This one, again, kind of nasty on the inside. A lot of these cassettes, they're out here because they're kind of like, they're almost unsalvageable. Got Cool Mo D, How You Like Me Now. You know what's up, and it's yellow on one side. Here's a Sawyer Brown cassette. Looks like it's in good shape, but it's kind of nasty. You can clearly see the tape has a bunch of gunk on it. Nirvana, Nevermind. This might be an original release, but there's like a bug living inside of the tape, it looks like. Here's Missing Persons. This one's kind of cool. Spring Session M. It's kind of like goofy 80s pop, but it's more rock. I don't know if this tape has the bonus tracks, and those two bonus tracks on that album are pretty good. Here's Green Day and Live, but the cassette itself isn't labeled at all whatsoever. Kind of a shame that it's in this condition, because this is a really nice Type 2 tape. Like, look at that, how nice that is. Here's another just blank, no-name cassette that was definitely recorded over at some point. No clue what's on that one. The Corner, free sampler tape for December 98. There's some cool songs on there. I don't know, that's just some random weird sampler tape. Here's Electric 70s. Who knows who made it? Weird sampler tape. John Michael Montgomery. This is like country, generic, crappy country kind of. I don't really like this. It's not that good, but I haven't really listened to it, so here's Manfred Mann's Earth Band, and it's in pretty disgusting shape. So you might be wondering how I like deal with some of these. Some of them, the tapes are in pretty good condition. They might just be a little dirty. So I use Window. No ammonia. But it has ammonia. I'm not too sure. I don't know what it has. It's basically Windex, I guess. And I just kind of spray a little cloth and I just wipe the cassette tape off and get it nice and clean. I also do the same thing for the shell. If the shell's in, reasonably good shape like this one. I just spray it with the Window and then give it a good, nice wipe down until it's nice and clean. And I also do the same with the inserts. So you might think this is crazy and dumb that I'm like spraying the paper with wet stuff, but this cleaner is going to kill any of the yucky stuff and it's going to help get all the dirt off of it. And the paper itself should be fine because the next thing that I do to this paper is going to get rid of all the moisture and hopefully kill anything that's remaining that's alive on here. Because I just like to, I just throw it in the toaster oven. And after that's been in there for a while, I, take it out and it's a little hot, but it's completely dry and it's basically good as new now. And I just take everything and reassemble it, and now I have a perfectly good, functional 2 Live Crew tape. As you can see, I have quite a lot of these nasty, disgusting tapes that are in need of repair in some form or another. And here are the couple that are just like, I've completely written off. They're basically garbage at this point. So yeah, that's the garage situation with the cassettes. They're all kind of nasty. All right, so now that you've seen all the nasty, disgusting cassettes and the situation outside in the garage, we can get back to looking at crappy cassette tapes that I don't like. So here's another one. Romancing the Classics. Listener's choice. Wow. It's got the things you'd expect to be on a Goodwill classical music cassette that I need to analyze. Merry Christmas from Nat King Cole, the Beach Boys, Julie Andrews, and other favorites. So this is like another weird compilation that I've never listened to that might have some cool songs, but I think it's just a Christmas album. This one I do know what it is, and it's not anything really special. It's piano music. It's just piano. It's piano solos by this guy, George Winston, from 1972. At least that's what it says is on there. It could be something completely different. This one, I mean, it's in really good condition. And it's also, look how dark that is. Do you see how dark that tape is? You know what that means? You know what a really dark tape means? It means it's probably going to be recorded over at some point if I don't like it. So if you've made it this far, congratulations. The video is now just beginning because these next ones will be hopefully a little bit more recognizable to most people. And then they'll also be the ones that I bought, which are very obscure and underground. So you've never heard of my music because I have like such an underground music vibe. But I'm sure you've heard of Savage Garden. Allegedly, that's what's on here. It's a single. So it's got I'll Bet He Was Cool, and the other side has that other one, the one that everybody knows, Truly, Madly, Deeply. That one, you know, these two songs, not the greatest Savage Garden songs. It doesn't have the only good Savage Garden song, which of course is I Want You. Is that what it's called? I think that's the one that I like. Doesn't have it, so into the trash it goes. We got Rec-X and Effect. Hard or Smooth. This one's cool. It's got HX Pro, Dolby B. Like, this is legit. It's on Type 2, I think. And it's got New Jack Swing on there. You can't go wrong. This is good. This is good. Peter Gabriel So, I think that's what's on here, I would assume. And it's a good album. Very good album, actually. Very cool. It could also be that when I listen to this one, maybe another album got recorded onto here, and it's not this album. I don't know. I guess I'll have to check that at some point. If what's on here is Peter Gabriel So, it is a good album. All right, we got Best of Van Morrison, whatever. The only thing that matters is that it has Brown Eyed Girl on there. That's all anybody cares about. It also has Blur. It has Blur. There's Blur on there. You can see the Blur. Brown Eyed Girl, whatever. It's a good song, I guess. I got Def Leppard, Hysteria. This one's pretty cool. It's got a couple good songs. I'm not huge into Def Leppard, but it's got, you know, I at least recognize these songs, you know, from playing Guitar Hero 2, probably. Really cool album art. I like this one a lot. Same goes for some AC Lightning Bolt DC Back in Black. It's alright. It's not like my favorite thing in the world. It's okay. It's not horrible. Here's one. I got Pearl Jam 10. The funny thing with this is I also have another Pearl Jam 10. I have 2 copies for some weird reason. It's not like a 2-disc cassette tape collection. It's just two identical copies of Pearl Jam 10. So I have the soundtrack to The Big Chill, and I have another soundtrack to The Big Chill for some weird reason. No clue. I like listen to this a little bit, and there's some okay songs on there, but it's mostly like it's a certain kind of music, and I'm not crazy about it. Look how nasty that one is. Ugh. So I'm gonna say Big Chill. It's gonna go in that pile. The Titanic motion picture soundtrack. My Heart Will Go On is a cool song, I guess. I don't really know what other songs are on that soundtrack. It seems like the little card in here is huge. Yeah, holy cow. Look how big that one is. Jeez Louise, it's got a huge one in there. So this might actually have some cool songs on here. I don't really know. Oh, look at this. It's got the whole thing on there. So that's pretty cool if you like Titanic. But I could not tell you a single song from the Titanic soundtrack that isn't My Heart Will Go On. We're getting to the good ones. I'm saving the best for last this time, instead of putting the good ones at the beginning, like the vinyl collection video, which maybe I'll do an update vinyl collection video. I've only gotten a few new records since I made that video. I haven't really been buying records or really anything recently. I've just been kind of doing other stuff. All right, so I got REM Out of Time. REM, always good. Sadly, I don't have an REM album with the song Stand, which I really like. It's also extremely bass, but this does not have that song. But it does have, like, Losing My Religion. That's one that everybody knows, I guess. I also have Murmur and Reckoning. Now, I'm not sure exactly if those are the REM albums that are on here. I would assume it's just like a compilation of the two. This is a pretty old cassette. It's type 1, but it's got really nice dark tape, so it sounds cool. I've listened to this, and I don't know. I don't actually know if it's the REM album because I haven't heard those REM albums. So I'm gonna have to like figure out if that's what's actually on here. But what's on here is super cool. So if it is those REM albums, then I like those albums. I think these are like recordings of something else. It's very slow. It almost sounds like The Cure that's on that one. So that'll be in the analysis one. And I'll go to the next one, which is The Cure, which this is The Cure. I have listened to this one about 100 times. This is a good one. Good mixtape, good Cure mixtape that my dad made extremely epically on a nice Type 2 cassette. So it sounds really good. I don't know where he got the source from. I'm assuming he probably had some vinyl that this was recorded off of, as with his other recordings, but I don't have access to his record collection. I'm not quite sure where it is, so I'll have to figure out what the deal with that is one day, but this one, really good. This one, going over, we're gonna put it over here because it doesn't have a label, but this is Hall of Famer zone. We're gonna see the Hall of Fame coming now. Pink Floyd, The Wall, don't have a case for it. Classic. It's Pink Floyd, it's really good. Look, you can see it has this repeating, like, nasty pattern. I'm assuming that probably means the audio quality is destroyed. I haven't listened to this one because it came from the garage after a good cleaning. I didn't even bother checking to see if that album is what's on here, but look at the tape itself. It's pretty disgusting. This one, I assume this is the album by Pink Floyd, Pulse. I think it's a live album. I would assume that's what that is. And the same goes for this. I think this was recorded off of a Pink Floyd compilation album. That's what the tracks are. These are Pink Floyd songs for sure. So Pink Floyd, always good. We'll go put that with the Cure. Those are Hall of Famers. So now, okay, here we go. Bone Thugs and Harmony, Eternal, classic. This album, so good, so freaking good. Hall of Fame, it's going right there. Here's another one. King Crimson, Court of the Crimson King. This one, not in great shape. This may have been an original, well, no, it's clearly not. It says collector's edition. Maybe this is an original release. It's in pretty rough shape, but the tape itself is completely fine, totally fine. I think that might be Type 2. I can't quite tell, but it's nice and dark, and I've listened to this one. It's great. I love this album. Everybody likes this album. Can't go wrong with that album. Come on. So these are the obscure cassettes that I bought, and I suppose I should explain my situation. I got my hi-fi set up, and I just had the cassette player on there, so I started buying cassettes off Bandcamp of really obscure stuff that's like pretty cool. This one's called The Internet, I think? The Internet's Home, Illuminated Paths, 2015. And this one's it's a funny one. I like it. Really nice tape right there. Look at how dark that is. Even though that's a Type 1, that's a dark Type 1. It doesn't look as dark as it does in real life on camera, but that's a dark Type 1. Wouldn't say it's Hall of Fame quality. It's definitely nowhere near. It's just some Bandcamp, like, funny music, but it's a good one, so. Here's another cool Bandcamp. True Wave. We have the technology. This is cool. I really like this album a lot. It's got, like, stickers on it. Goofy handmade completely. It's got a label on it, cassette of the month. Like, who knows what this originally was. And it's got all kinds of fun, goofy. It's got a little sticker in there. Way to go. And yeah, this is a really good album. And I like the song Rain. And that is a good song from this album. Rain. Definitely worth checking that one out. This is Pure something audio, Neon Solutions, but it's actually called Pure Stereo. They changed the name. It's the front of it. You probably can't see that. The front of it says something completely different. This one's cool. It's got little stamps in there. I really like this album. It's pretty sweet, just like the other ones. Another Illuminated Paths purchase. Definitely check that one out. Very cool. This one of my favorites. Hair Doctor, Wave Goodbye, I believe is what this one's called. My shell's a little busted up, but man, this one, sick as hell. I'm gonna say this one is going in the Hall of Famers because this one I like a lot. Same goes for this one right here. This is Napoli Futura Roulette. Really good. I love this album. This album freaking kicks ass. Very cool. A lot of songs on there remind me of the soundtrack for like Gran Turismo. Really great songs. Hall of Famer for sure. This next one I purchased, Pet Shop Boys, actually. Classic, sweet. The funny one with this is it's from Yugoslavia. This is a cassette made in Yugoslavia. And yeah, it's got all the good songs. It's got all the good Pet Shop Boys songs. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in the Hall of Fame. This one, I have a story. Enigma. MCMXCAD. So this one, got it at Goodwill. Had no clue what it was. I had absolutely no idea what this album was. I looked at it at Goodwill, and it just looked cool. I'm like, oh, that's pretty sweet. I'm gonna get this. Had no clue what was on this. It had a cool name, Enigma, and it had a cool album art. So I got it. And you know what? This was, the songs on this, I had heard years before, and I had been trying to find for years and years. Never knew what it was. I couldn't find it when I searched, like, descriptive terms, like song that sounds like this. Couldn't find anything. There was other songs that would always come up, and I put this in, and I shit my pants, and I'm like, oh my god, I have been looking for this for so damn long, and it just was a complete accident. And I'm really happy, and this album is so good. This is such a good freaking album. One of the best. Definitely Hall of Fame. This next one, also got at Goodwill. I was just at Goodwill, just looking through the cassettes. I'm like, holy crap, Twin Peaks soundtrack on cassette. And it's super cool. You open it up, it's got all the cool little everything in there. It's a huge, all kinds of stuff. Very cool, very sweet, good compliment to my, I have the new series soundtrack on vinyl. Well, this is the original soundtrack on cassette. Classic, excellent, Hall of Fame. I actually have a Moon Man cassette, the official Moon Man album. Actually, this is Saint Pepsi. This is Luxury Elite and Saint Pepsi, Late Night Delight. You've probably heard these songs. These are old, like kind of OG vaporwave kind of songs. Very popular. This one definitely in the Hall of Fame. Super happy I got this. Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds. If you don't know this, you're missing out, because this shit freaking owns. Love this album. Classic. So I'm a Watts gamer. I'm all about that classic Gary's Mod War of the Servers. Well, this is, that was all very inspired by this album. The original is excellent. So both of them, these are mint. These had the wrapping, the plastic wrap on them. So even though the shell's a little beat up, there's a little cracks, the cassettes themselves are mint. This is in mint condition. Excellent. Hall of Fame, which I'm gonna have to move forward a little bit so you can actually see the rows. I don't know why I really did that, because I only have 2 cassettes left. So first one, this one, easily the coolest cassette body I have. Yoshimi, Tokyo Restricted Area. This is like industrial ambient music. It's sick. It's sick as hell. Look at that beautiful, beautiful deep blue cassette. It's only Type 1 though, but that's okay because this is a cool album, really good. Wish I got it on vinyl, but when this came out, I didn't have a record player. So I got it on cassette because I was a big cassette head, and I still like cassettes. I haven't bought anything on cassette in a while, but when I go to Goodwill, I always check out the cassette selection just to check if there's anything cool, and I'm very interested in starting to record my own cassettes onto some of these blanks that I have, because it's always good to have your music in a physical format. Anyway, Yoshimi, I have the other Yoshimi album on vinyl. That's really cool. This one's also really cool. Hall of Fame, easily. Final one is the Planet X3 soundtrack, because I got this on Patreon. My name is in the manual for the game. If you want to dox me, my real-life name is in the manual. But yeah, Planet X3, got some cool songs on there, cool tracks, pretty sick. That's it. That is every single one of my cassettes. So here's the aftermath here. You can see the recording setup. So here's everything. There is the analysis pile over there. And back there is the stuff that didn't quite make the cut, or is just like, I have no clue. They're just empty. And you can see all my junk. There's that. So that's the video. I hope you enjoyed a look at my cassette collection. Now I'm going to go and reorganize them, and I guess I'll edit the video. And you'll be watching it at some time in the future. Make sure you get subscribed, because I will make also other videos of my cool collections of stuff, such as my CD collection and my collection of marbles. Stickers? Oh, I did that one already. Shit.